Okay, we're testing the 3x3 beam splicer today with these wonderful epoxies. So the first step is to properly rub down the material with something like a Scotch-Brite pad. Not just the splicer extrusion. Let's show the camera how beefy that extrusion is. So check out the thickness of that. Fantastic splicer. Then also the inside of the tubes you're going to have to try and get with the Scotch-Brite pad as well. It's nice here when we've got a 12-inch piece. Out in the field you'll be working with longer material. Should be going in a good 3 inches we can get in there. The adhesive isn't necessarily required to cover the entire bond that we get. It only needs to be a 3-inch long bond. These epoxies are incredibly strong. Okay, once the parts are thoroughly scrubbed with the Scotch-Brite pads, it's important that you clean with isopropyl alcohol, not rubbing alcohol, because that might have a slight oil content. Isopropyl alcohol is the best for cleaning and preparation of adhesives or sealants, because it leaves the least amount of residue. So don't use a paint thinner, because that's what you have handy. Be prepared and have some isopropyl alcohol. Okay, so the parts have been sanded with the Scotch-Brite pads. Parts have been cleaned with isopropyl alcohol. Okay, when we slide the parts together, there's going to be some bleed out of the adhesive. So you want to make sure that you put a little masking tape around the edges so that you can simply peel that away. And I can appreciate that it's a whole lot easier when I'm just using a little 12-inch piece than it will be in the field when you're using the full length of beams for your patio cover. There we go. I'll fold a little tab on that to make it easy to peel off. What we're using is a methacrylate adhesive, which is actually stronger than epoxy. And the way this particular version works is with something called an activator. You'll be running the activator as far as you can go, about 3 inches, coating the surfaces. So if you can imagine in a real life scenario, you might want to hold your beams off the deck, maybe on some spare 2x4s, okay? Some cardboard under them in case you're where the adhesive spills out. You wouldn't want it to spill out on somebody's nice deck. We're going to now we're going to apply the other part of the adhesive. I don't know if the camera can pick that up or not. But we fill that in like that. You good? Mm-hmm. So we've put the adhesive in the tube. It would be easier if you put the adhesive component on the splicer instead. Then we slide the parts together. You have a 2-minute working time. And you want to make sure you draw a pencil line at the halfway mark so that as you slide these together, you're assured that the joint, that the splicer is centered in your two beams. Then, while the joint is nice and tight, fire in a couple of screws just to hold the joint tight. There we go. There we go. Let it set. We're doing tests using methacrylate adhesive. You'll recall that we used the, what do we call this stuff, Siddhat?
RTK something?
The activator?
Yeah, activator.
Okay. And the adhesive. Okay. This is our setup here. These are a couple of steel plates because our load cell, otherwise our load cell would just go inside that tube there. So we've got these two plates. We're going to be testing the adhesive in this area. So without further ado,
Okay.
let's start pumping. As you can see, there's already a few pounds on the load cell, and here we go. Let's keep going. You think those straps are going to hold it down?
Let's see.
You're up to 1,000 pounds. You're really pushing. That adhesive is amazing stuff. We're actually pushing our forklift back ever so slightly. We thought our load cell only went to 2,000 pounds, but it turns out it might actually go to 10,000 pounds. But this is amazing. We're at 2,700 pounds. It's unbelievable how that glue is hanging on. Let's stop at 3,000. Let's give it a couple more pumps.
So there's a pressure here too.
Couple more pumps. Yeah, and Siddhat can hardly push, he's saying, on the hydraulic cylinder. Okay, great. Where's that seam? There it is. We just got the seam to open up. Okay. So from the test we just did, we'll just take you a little closer, and we can see that we went out to over 3,000 pounds on that test. Now, okay, so what we're going to do is we only had 2 screws in that connection. We're going to take them out. Maybe the glue is hanging under those screws to that.
Yeah,
There we go.
It was removed the first time.
Up, up, up. There. Okay. Give it a little.
Yeah,
pull.
nothing there, just still
It's
holding.
nothing.
Yeah, this is the inside.
Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect. I mean, actually, I can.
Just drop it. Just drop it. I can't see that. Just drop it on the floor. Rock stiff. Dropped it on the floor. Banged it.
Oh. Perfect.
And that joint is steady.